Drinking buddies, what are the 5 whiskeys I won't be buying in 2025? Let's go.
I'm your drinking buddy.
All right, drinking buddies. So you might be thinking, top 5 whiskeys I'm not going to be buying in 2025. I'm going to be naming specific bottles, but it's more about categories for me. So these are 5 things I won't be buying in 2025. And at number 5, we're going to go with young Tennessee sourced whiskeys. The problem with young Tennessee sourced whiskeys is you're going to get that Flintstones chewable vitamins, Flintstones chewable morphine thing. And it's just not that pleasant. I don't mind it when it's blended into something, and I don't mind it when it's older. But that younger sourced Tennessee stuff, it's just not for me. It's not something that I want to spend my money on. I just know there's better whiskeys out there. Now, I'm not crapping on the brand as a whole. I'm not crapping on Dickel as a whole. I think they do a good job when they're at a higher age. I'll give you an example. This is a great whiskey. This is 15-year-old Dickel. How do I know it's Dickel? It says aged 15 years. It says origin Tennessee, and it says mash bill 84 corn, 8 rye, 8 malted barley. That is a Dickel mash bill. This one happens to be finished in Madeira casks, and it is delicious, 104 proof. A lot of the stuff that Barrel uses, they're sourcing from Dickel. Their ryes, the Dickel ryes, are also pretty good, but young, sourced, Tennessee, not for me. Next up, MGP ryes. I'm out on MGP ryes. Now let me explain. There's definitely some caveats to that. I definitely think they're worth it if you can get them at a high age. This is an 11-year-old MGP rye. It's excellent. This one is finished. It's excellent. So in order for me to justify buying an MGP rye, it needs to A, be finished, or B, be very old. Just your average 4-year-old MGP rye packaged and label slapped on it, a sticker slapped on it that it's, the new rye. No, I'm out, not buying it. Next up, we're gonna talk about store brands, especially Total Wine brands. Now, sometimes these can seem like they're a good idea, but they very rarely ever are. They deliver a lot of, extremely cheap products marked up, to be honest. I think about, I have this one. This is the only one I have currently. I tend to give them away if I don't love them. This is a Total Wine brand. This is Wellington Creek, and it's decent, but you can see how much of a dent I've put in this bottle, and it's been open for probably at least 2 years. It's just one of those things where they're often marked up. Everyone makes fun of the Chestnut Farms because it's $100 whiskey at Total Wine, but it's just $17.92 bottled in bond. Why is it $100? So yeah, store brands, I'm out. Next up, we have sourced whiskeys with bad transparency. And I'm definitely going to be killing some chances of ever getting any samples sent my way again with this one. But a bad example of that was 13th Colony. They got called out for not being very transparent on their labels, and now their whiskey says, see, this one says produced and bottled by 13th Colony. And now their whiskey says distilled in Indiana, bottled by 13th Colony. So it's just regular MGP juice, which is a little disappointing to learn considering they said they weren't lying about anything. Anyway, there was definitely some shady stuff going on there, and they're not the only brand. I'm not exclusively talking 13th Colony, and I do appreciate that when they received backlash, they did fix the problem. They did fix their labeling. So I do appreciate that. And I have no problem with people sourcing. I just would like them to be transparent about it. I know there are NDAs involved. You can't say where you're sourcing from, but you can almost always say the state. So if you're sourcing, at least tell me the state. If you're allowed to, please tell me the mash bill. If you're sourcing, please tell me how old it is. All of this information you can give me. Please do. Or I'm probably not going to buy your product. Next up, this is the number one. This is the one that I had on my list last year as well. So you guys might already know. And this is going to be under 100 proof, over $100. I'm out. So Michter's does a lot of that. This is the toasted sour mash from a couple years ago. It's 86 proof, and this is from a couple of years ago. And I still have about half the bottle because it's not that great. It's good. It's good whiskey. This would be a great whiskey if it was $80, but it was over 100. And I just don't think that whiskey under 100 proof should cost more than $100. I just don't. It's against my my values as a whiskey enthusiast. Are there great whiskeys over $100, under 100 proof? Yes. But I would say they're few and far between. I think Saz 18 comes to mind. Michter's 10 comes to mind. But for the most part, I'm going to pass on almost any whiskey that costs over $100 that's under 100 proof. Why? Well, the value is not really there. You're adding a lot of water to the product to get it below 100 proof. And I tend to like higher proof whiskeys. So why am I going to buy something that I'm probably not going to love as much as something that I could get for less than $100 that I'm going to like more? So 100 proof, I think that you could say I'll probably pay over $100 for it, but drops below that 100 mark, it's just probably not for me. Well, drinking buddies, drop a comment down below and tell me which of these, which bottles are you not going to be buying in 2025? Get specific. If there's something that you just bought last year that you didn't like, you're never going to buy it again, drop it below. Or maybe you agree with me in one of these categories, or maybe you have another category. Maybe you straight up hate finished ryes, and that's your category you're never going to buy again. Drop a comment down below and let me know what one you're not going to be buying again in 2025. And like the video if you can before you go. And please do me a favor and make sure you're a subscriber. A lot of you aren't subscribed. I look at the analytics, and a lot of the people who watch my videos aren't subscribed. So really appreciate it if you'd hit that button. Cheers, buddies. Thanks for watching. Couldn't do this without you.
I'm your drinking buddy.